This is really the fighter and the kid.
Come on, baby. I got a boxing class I got to get to. One thing about fighting for me, Cory, is I take it very seriously, and I take my sparring really seriously. Now, here's the thing about you. You're roughly my height, and you fight at 135. I said you're 5'11", but you went, I am, and I think that means you're 5'10".
5'10" and like a 3/4.
There you go.
Change.
5'10" and 3/4.
Ryan's obsessed with size.
No.
So anyone he sees, he goes, "Dude, you believe me? We're similar
When I
size."
see a guy like Cory, and I go, when you fight at 135, and you're my size.
So here's the deal about the numbers that people don't really realize is it's like when you get in the UFC, it's like someone being like, oh, okay, you're that tall. Oh, go like this. Okay, your arms are that long. So like, I don't even think I could have been 6'1". I could have put down that I was 6'1", and
all
no
you
one
know is
would
you got to
say-
make 135.
No, yeah, and no one.
Yeah, it's
would
not
say,
like a government agency.
yeah,
running.
it's like literally
Guys
one
get
of
on
the
their tippy
employees.
toes. Yeah,
one of the employees being like, "This how my arms are longer than what it says on the thing."
Really?
yeah. The lady that runs like the TikTok for the UFC is like, "Let me get that wingspan here."
That's how they do it.
Yeah, it is.
When
real quick.
when I think about like the stuff I've done when I went to high altitude, and Cory has me wrestling around with Kat Zingano, or I take some privates with Christian Allen, which I have no business doing, but I will say that stuff he taught me when I went back to the gym actually really worked.
Yeah.
But
you forgot
also,
it now,
like,
but yeah,
he,
complete waste of time and money.
not
Let's
really,
be real.
Not really.
It's fun for a picture, right?
Fun for a picture.
Did you have fun?
Well, so the
Hey, did you
point-
have fun?
yeah, I had fun.
That's all that matters.
I had fun.
Okay, you had fun.
Look, I'm a fainting goat.
No,
I'm
keep
appalled
going.
at my own life, but I'm with Christian, and I go, I'm talking, and I ask him questions, and then he goes, I see you do this thing. Well, I didn't know who you were, and you weren't in the UFC yet, but I see this thin, kind of redheaded kid. You did this thing, and you hit the guy in the body. You did a body shot, and I go, that's what I want to do. Every time I try to cross this plane, I get hit in the face. How do I dig to the liver? And Christian goes, well, that's the future. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, that's my student, and that's the future. And I go, he's going to be in the UFC, and you're going to hear about him. And I went, well, how do I do that? And he goes, it's complicated.
Why do you think you want to do that so bad, though? This young prospect, you're like, I need to do
Like, I want to do
that.
that. Like, and then it was like, what do you
Let's just get on the mix.
Hey, you're 48 or whatever
Yeah.
I was at the time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
There is nothing like being able to drop someone with the body shot at will.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
like
God.
a great,
Yeah.
that's like a great feeling. You get to hear them squeal.
And it
Yes.
doesn't matter how tough
Yeah.
they are. A body shot.
Oh yeah,
Get them out of there.
I think I had 10 amateur kickboxing fights, and every single one, I'm almost positive I dropped someone with a body shot. In one of the
Really?
rounds.
Brutal
Yeah,
at
yeah.
amateur get knocked out by a body shot. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck's knocking people out with body shots?
I was
I have
obsessed.
shin guards on.
I was obsessed with the liver shot for a really long time because I would watch all those guys from K1 do it and just
Yeah.
like demolish people. You remember Louis?
I do remember Louis.
Like 4'8"
yeah,
Louis?
tiny little
Yeah,
Louis.
yeah. So there's
He had,
this
like,
guy,
kids, too? Like, 4 kids or 5
There's
kids?
There's this dude, Louis. He
Tiny.
was, dude, legit 4'8", probably
tough.
adult. And he would rip people to the body.
Yeah, dude.
Rip people to the body. And I was like, I want to do that to people.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
his thing.
It was this thing.
Well,
yeah.
I said to Christian,
Dude, like
I
Super
showed
Mario, and he just
Christian-
fucking.
I literally showed Christian what Bernard Hopkins did to Oscar de la Hoya when he dropped him with a body shot. I brought it up on like YouTube or something, and he was like, and then you did the exact same thing, and I go, I want to do. It's like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, the guys in the UFC are a little bit too tough to drop with those now. But in
They
my
are.
early days, yeah, I would drop people with that.
Yeah,
all
you
the
don't see a
time.
lot of like some kicks. You see some kicks get through that fuck some guys up in the body, but you don't see a lot of punches that drop guys these days. Guys are too good. The
Yeah.
movement's too good now. They're aware of
Why
it.
is that? They just don't leave. They're not leaving themselves open. They're aware
It's a
of that.
higher level?
I think that they're tougher too.
Yeah.
They're tougher, and I think that it's like an accumulative thing, and like guys are really good at making adjustments, you know. So once you know your body's like a little compromised, like, and you know it's only going to take 2 or 3 more to drop them, then I think that they like start to address that. Like getting kicked in the leg, I know that I need to address the leg kicks long before my leg starts to hurt.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone else
that's an
kind of.
issue.
Yeah. You don't want to like start switching your stance and addressing that thing when it's already torn apart.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
I remember Chito used to literally drill if he got hit to the body. It was such an issue. He would drill getting hit to the body, and then he would have a whole game plan for it.
Chito
He's like Machida.
Oh, Machida.
Yeah, Machida. He would just drop to the ground, and then he would stay there and hope they get in his guard. It was like a whole thing. I'm like, this is insane.
Damn.
How often you get hit to the body?
Do you ever
we're drilling this.
Do you watch guys like Machida, the old guard, and think to yourself that there's like, how much the game has evolved?
Yeah, I do. I think, yeah, I mean, it's definitely evolved a ton, but I mean, I like watching those guys because I think that if something's tried and true, it's tried and true through all of history. And a lot of those things that when I'm trying to learn something, I'm like, well, if it worked 10 years ago and it's still working, then I'll definitely that's like worth some investment of time and learning and all of that.
It is crazy to go back and look, like even when I was fighting, if you look, the heavyweight hasn't changed too much, but the other divisions like 185 and under, you look at like the top 10, you're like, well, 5 years ago, 1 through 10
All
were
of
world
them,
champion.
yeah.
Like 1 through 15 even. Like, especially in bantamweight, it's like the level that these guys are working at. If you go back 6 years ago, you're like, oh, a number of these guys be world champion now.
Yeah.
Just the game's advancing so damn fast.
But what's interesting about it also is that you start to see, in some ways, as it advances, it also simplifies. Like you're not seeing, like you don't get away with a lot of stuff, right? So the better you are with your division, you guys, like there are low kicks, okay, but you better be careful of a double. There are, but you're exchanging blows, but everything is, it's almost like the game simplifies. It's almost like if you watch high level wrestling, like if you watch the Olympics and stuff, it's still ankle picks, single legs, double legs, arm drags. It's not these crazy throws.
Ooh, I disagree.
Really?
Especially at his level with striking. I think for the general fan, they watch it. Like if you watch the Izzy and Mike and the Alex Pierre fight, you're like, oh yeah, he just kind of leaned against the cage and knocked him out. There weren't much changes. Like, oh no. Like the level of difficulty, like the maneuvering that they're making,
right.
The small changes is at such a high level.
Yeah.
Where I think people watch it go, oh yeah, he just zigged when he should have zagged. It's like no.
So I would say that I think MMA is in a really interesting spot. Just I think when we look back at it in 20 years, and we'll be able to pinpoint like almost like how we are now, where like 20 years ago it was the way that it was, and we can kind of pick out things. But right now, I think that the sport of MMA is in such a creative space where everyone's trying to like figure out the best system to winning right now, which is obviously super difficult because the judges' decisions are all over the place. But I think MMA is really exciting right now because like in wrestling, there are like tried and true techniques that work over and over and over again. And they're like, people aren't doing crazy stuff. Barely, like not a lot of like judo throws are happening, where I'm sure in the beginning pieces of wrestling, when people were trying to figure out what works best, they were having to experiment with a lot of that stuff over and over. And I think MMA is in a spot where we're still like experimenting with a ton of stuff. And I think that the person that's able to figure out the best system sooner than later is going to be the person that like
agree.
Yeah, I mean that's
so new.
Khabib. Exactly.
Yeah,
and
so
that's
Wouldn't you
Khabib.
say that's
like,
wrestling? Wouldn't you say like Bo Nickel, for example, his wrestling is going to be such a problem for anybody if he grabs on.
But we've had guys of his caliber before.
We have.
Yes.
Yeah. So people figure that out.
But what makes Bo special is his transitioning. Obviously, his wrestling, he's going to out wrestle anybody. But there's guys who can navigate that wrestling. There are. He's going to meet some guys.
Look at Yoel Romero. He never really used his wrestling, which is so baffling.
But Yoel's a bad example because he's such high level. But there's going to be guys that don't have that collegiate background in wrestling, but they have a takedown defense that can nullify his wrestling. So then he's going to be forced to strike. But what makes Bo Nickel special is his transition, the way he can mix it up.
Yeah.
How he can go from wrestling to grappling right away.
because there have been a lot of high-level wrestlers that petered out.
Well, because they can't put it together. They're either wrestling or they're striking. And you look at Bo, it's very fluid with only 4 or 5
GSP had
fights.
that too, I think.
Similar, but with Bo's background, is good. He's going to meet somebody where, probably 3 or 4 fights from now where, again, if it was a wrestling match, he's going to fucking annihilate them.
Right.
But they're going to be able to do enough inside that cage where they can nullify him, where he's going to be forced to strike.
Yeah. That's what I love about MMA. That's what I love about it. Let's see. I think it's the hardest sport in a lot of ways. In terms of what you have to, how versatile you have to be. So if you're in the NFL, you have to be an amazing athlete. But if you're a wide receiver, there's You run out for passes. There's a pattern. You catch balls. That's always tough. They're playing with pain, 1,000 things. But, aside from quarterback, being in a high-level MMA guy, there's never enough time to work on everything you have to learn because it's always changing. There's killers everywhere.
Yeah.
You got to have jiu-jitsu. You got to have wrestling. You got to have boxing. You got to have kicking.
But the biggest problem, Cory, we're talking about this off camera, but I think the biggest issue in mixed martial arts everywhere, but UFC especially, is the judging. Like, it's this elephant in the room where, to me, the MMA fan base goes, yeah, I can't leave in the hands of the judges. Like, no, bitch. No. Any other league, NFL, NBA, NHL, we never just go, the refs, man. They make awful calls. We can't depend on them.
Right.
No. We can depend on them to make the right call. Sometimes they make mistakes.
Sure.
Mistakes I can
Part
agree
of the
with.
game.
But sometimes when you look at the judging, like, what the hell is going on here? And then, Dana at the fighter meeting before the fights on Fridays after weigh-ins, will go, I say, guys, don't leave in the hands of the judges. I just remember going, that doesn't work for me, dude. Because the next guy that Cory fights, listen, hopefully he finishes him. The guy's going to be pretty fucking good. Whether it's Merab, whether it's fucking Henry Cejudo, whoever it is. They're tough, man, to finish, especially at bantamweight.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to depend on the judges. We can't just throw the white flag anymore and go, should have went to the judges. That doesn't work for me.
Right.
Especially because it's a problem every single month. Like, every single month it gets brought up over and over and over
Anytime
again.
there's a fight, there's an issue.
Always. And the UFC is running so many fights per month where it's like 3 weekends out of the month. At least one of those weekends you're getting one where you're just like, what the fuck was that? And like, how long are we going to be cool with like that going on?
Well, like, even in your fight, it's like, this fight was very clear. Very clear. And then when that one judge gave it, what was it?
48-47 Chito.
And you're like, I get like some rounds, maybe if they're close, like 3 and 4, maybe, like maybe they're close. It's like, I guess I can see how I came to that conclusion. But to give the whole fight to Chito, who I love dearly, it's like, well, something's going on there. You're not watching, or you don't have the IQ to be a judge at this level. If you judge that way, there's no way you should have this job.
Well, yeah, me and that guy got into. So I don't want to shit on the guy too much because it's a little bit old news, but it is kind of scary to think that if there was one more person in that judging circle would have given it to Chito, I would have like that would have massively changed maybe my career.
But I do think it's important, and not to, thank God you won the fight, but I think people need to realize, like, not only are the judges flawed, but sometimes they have a different agenda. It's human
Bias,
nature, unfortunately, or they have a different agenda, no matter how well the fight goes.
Right.
Like, and I think people should learn, you have the history with the judge who scored it for Chito, which clearly is just wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. Right. It just is.
Yeah.
But there's a history with him and Cory back in the day where they had a disagreement over a younger fighter.
So I was cornering one of my guys in the Springs. Me and Christian are, and
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Colorado Springs. And so the guy is reffing the fight. The same judge that gave it to Chito. The guy is reffing the fight with my guy. The guy's in a choke, but it's not like a sunken in choke. Like, if you knew anything about jiu-jitsu at some level of degree, you'd be like, okay, like, that guy's fine. This guy didn't have that ability to do that because he doesn't know enough. So he calls the fight. Me and Christian are asking him or yelling at him before, like, hey, don't stop it. Like, because we see that the judge is going to stop it, even though Miguel's completely fine. So he stops it. Me and Christian give him like an earful, like we weren't nice about it, really, like, hey man, like, you fucked up big time, man. Like, we wanted to make this guy pro after this, and now we don't really know what to do. He was winning all the rest of the fight, and like, you screwed him over. I go up to him a little bit afterwards. I have like some more words with him, and so that ref is the same guy that gave, and I don't want to shit on the guy too much. It's a little bit old news, but that is what happened. And when I look back and I watch the fight, I'm like, okay, maybe 3 and 4 if you really fucking hated me. Like, if I walked by you and kicked your dog and you were judging later, you'd be like, yeah, fuck that guy. He doesn't get round 3 and 4.
If you sucked on my kid's tongue, I'd give that guy 3 and 4.
But 1, 2, and 5?
Unless you're the law.
In what world would you ever give Chito 1, 2, and 5?
That's why something's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, there was something going on.
Have.
So, what's funny is I didn't even realize it was that guy until maybe like a week and a half later when the guys at the gym were like, hey man, like, hey, yeah, that guy like refs in Colorado sometimes. I was like, what does he look like? And they explained him to me, and I was like, because I don't bitch out a lot of people, you know, like, but if you deserve
really
it,
bad.
if you deserve it, I'll bitch you out, especially if you're in like a
Do you not see
space
the
where
judge
you should know.
when you're?
I had no idea. So
Where
so
are
I
they?
pull up his picture and I'm like, oh shit, that's that guy that I got into it with a few years ago. You know,
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like we can't have that.
Yeah,
because the level that they're fighting at, like a
Settling
Chito
scores.
Vera, Cory fight, there's serious
High-level dudes,
consequences,
yeah.
man. So whoever loses, you know, it's tough, man. And in that division, it's so competitive, and you have a problem from 4 to 5 years ago that's going to cause
It's a bad
me to-
judge. It's a biased judge, and that happens, and that's out there.
Let's find him and kill him.
Let's find him and kill him. Well, that's a guy who by the way, confirmation
Looking for the
bias.
kid, dude.
Confirmation bias is fucking really strong, though. The guy probably hated you,
Maybe.
and then he was only seeing when you were getting your head.
And he might not even hate him, but subconsciously,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, he was a dick to me there.
Yeah.
So he might not be meaning to, but he's like, oh, it's a sweet kick by Chito there. So he's remembered certain
yeah.
shit.
You know that rider in the elephant metaphor that psychologists use, Jonathan Haidt, who's a psychologist, use. The idea is all of us think that we are riding the elephant, but in fact, your fast thinking brain, which is all emotional, is the elephant. So the elephant goes wherever the fuck it wants, and then you, as the rider, come up with reasons for why
headed
you
that way.
made that elephant
Yeah,
go there.
yeah.
But that elephant
We
was
have no
going
control,
there. And that's
yeah.
how we are with all. I always catch myself, even at my age, where I'm like, how do I really, like, I get these visceral reactions, and I'm like, wait a minute. I arrived at that conclusion, and now I'm cherry picking data to support how I felt in the first place.
And you can do that with literally
Everything.
whatever it
Anything.
is.
We do it with politics. We do it with everything.
Oh, everything.
You know,
Yeah.
With our kids, whatever it is, you know. And that's 100%. Either the guy's a dick and knew exactly what he's doing, which is probably closer to what it is, or he just remembered getting humiliated by a guy he couldn't say anything to. And, you know.
Yeah, I think what would be more helpful and would kind of move the ball down the field in regards to judges if they had to take some responsibility. Like just the same way you have to go to the post-fight conference, they should be on there like, real quick, whatever the slapdick's name is. Hey, slapdick, why did you score it for Chito 3-4? Explain to us so we can have a better understanding.
Sure.
Because when there's no explanation, that doesn't work for me. Because now confirmation bias, I'm sure it's not even confirmation bias, it's just facts. Like, no, we know why you did it, dude. But if you can explain to us how you got there, and in some weird world, it kind of makes sense. I go, okay, you're not a bad guy. You deserve to keep your job. But they can just go, nope, that guy winning.
Well,
no.
well, here's my question.
It's the
Number
only
one,
business in the world where you don't have to explain
but
yourself.
B,
Yeah.
where are the judges? Are they at the fight?
Yeah, they're
At a table?
Yeah,
Cage
they're-
side?
Yep.
So you
Which
can see
isn't the
them.
way to watch it.
It's not.
It's tough to see.
You should see
It
things
is
on
super
a
tough to see.
I've always
yeah.
said there should be more than 3. There should be 5 or
Yes.
to 6. They should be in a remote location, watch on TV
On big
with no
screens.
commentary and no crowd, because the crowd can change. They're human,
Of course.
So a crowd can change. Like when Conor McGregor walks out, they're like, "Oh, this guy's the man, dude." It's nuts. So you again, it's just human
So
nature
I would
to go.
do-
I'm gonna look for the best of that guy in the fight.
I'd have 6 judges. I would do exactly that.
They're in Alaska, or
Yes.
maybe they're just in Vegas every fucking time. There's no crowd
Yep.
noise.
But couldn't you also have, like, I don't know how they do CompuBox, but there's got to be people
That
who
can't
can
work.
there got to be people that can just watch, isolate just your head, just your body, and count how many shots land.
That can't dictate
No.
a fight. Sometimes, because the problem with Combi Strike, again, that's confirmation bias.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes a guy like Rob Font has crazy high output. Fights a guy like Chito who doesn't have a high output.
Mm.
If you look at Combi Strike and you're going based off that, you're like, well, I'm giving it to Rob round 1
You
or
gotta
2.
look at damage.
But there's damage. There's octagon control.
Yeah.
There's danger. Number 1 is who did the most damage.
Would you score the later round more
No, it's
significantly
stupid.
than the first
No,
one?
they're all 5 minutes.
So at minute 20, the guy dominates that last round.
But he lost the.
Right? Would you?
They're all
would
worth the
you-
same.
They're all worth the same.
That's the game. That'd be like saying in the NFL in the fourth quarter, should touchdowns count for 10 points
Right.
instead of 7?
Right.
The fuck? No,
Right.
dude. Same game.
Yep.
Any other stupid ass ideas, dude?
Huh?
Die.
No, I'm fainting.
I'm
Go.
gonna treat you like that judge. Die. But isn't it weird? Like it's scary for you, like going to the fight and just knowing like the judge, like it's just one thing you guys shouldn't have to worry about.
I know. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But
You know,
you will.
there are like a lot of I know a lot of the commissioners, of course, too, and just people that work. There's a lot of really good ones too, but I do think that if they did have to take some responsibility, I wonder how many on that day that decision was made would be like, I'm not going to be a judge anymore.
100%.
Like, imagine how many there would be, because
and if they had to have social media, and they were able to see the visceral feedback of like that decision or other decision, like, no, what are you doing here?
Boxing could use that
the only way that boxing's, they're too far down the road, they're fucked. But with the UFC, we're so new, we can make a change, man. And I just think if we can hold them accountable and go, the fighters go on, because we don't need you guys mixing with them because somebody's gonna get hurt. But if you guys go on, and then the judges, all right, media, fire away. And they have to explain how they came.
This isn't a Dana White decision, right? This is a commission decision.
Listen, Dana's going, I don't run the commissions. No, dude. When Dana is the elephant. Like, I know you're saying it's the brain. No, Dana's the elephant of the UFC.
Right.
Like, he goes where they want to go. So if Dana went, we have got to make a change, there's going to be a change.
There's going to be a change.
And now he can say it's the commission. Dude, he has so much power now. So much power. If he really focus on that, and he has a million things to focus on, and maybe to him it's like, it's part of the game.
I'm sure he would agree with this. Because he has huge problems with the judges.
I think he has so many fires to put out. This is it.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're both complete, or I'm off, and he's like, no, bitch, I've tried. And the commission's like, shut your mouth. We're hiring these guys.
Possible.
Yeah,
it's a tricky one for sure. I mean, but yeah, one of the, I mean, it's going to continue to be a problem all the way up until something's done about it, Yeah,
there's not much you can do, unfortunately.
Nah.
We talking about the election?
I mean, I wish we could do mail-in ballots for judges scoring. I'd mail some shit in, dude.
Shit, the fights last weekend were great, though.
Oh, they were good.
All finishes.
Oh, my God.
Almost all finishes.
Dude.
No
Did
really
you
bad
have
decisions.
Adesanya winning, or was that a big surprise to you as well?
I thought... I love Adesanya. Like, I'm like an actual Adesanya fan, but I was like... Actually, it's funny. I was completely wrong, but I was like, if Pereira just like gets him against the fence, and just like tees off on him, that's gonna be how he like knocks Israel out again. And then he went to do that, and then ended up getting knocked out.
And how crazy that was their game plan.
I know.
Think of the massive Aussie, New Zealand nuts. That team. Well, his coach was like, hear me out here. I know last time against Cage it was all crazy. We're gonna do that again.
Yeah. Well, I will
he's
say
like,
this.
what the fuck?
I watched in slow motion. And you can see why they probably said that, because Pereira, and if you watch the first fight too, Pereira does have his hands down. And he throws, when he's throwing with his hook, this hand is right
most
here.
Most guys do, though.
Yeah, but
against
Adesanya, when he's here, that's a liability. He rolls,
but the
bang,
point is, the reason they wanted to, because when a guy's throwing combos, his hands does come down, and he's only throwing those combos in that range against the cage. Right. So it's to lure him in.
Dude, Israel had us all fooled. Like the guys the guys that I was watching it with, even, we were all like, get the fuck off the fence. Like, what are you doing? He had us all fooled, man. He had the whole world.
Muhammad Ali, rope-a-dope, dude. Yep. Who does rope-a-dope in the UFC?
He literally blocked it. He turned, blocked like that, and just went crack with that right hand. I mean,
I'm sure Izzy, when the coach sat him down for the game plan, was like, what if he throws a knee? They're like, don't worry about it. He does that. You see Alex go, woo-woo thing.
Jesus. He got off balance. He was like, fuck.
Dude.
Yeah.
Man, it hit him in the body first, and then threw that goddamn knee.
It's a legendary movie.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a legendary movie.
But that's why he's going to go down as one of the GOATs.
Oh, yeah.
The GOAT.
Then Jorge Masvidal retiring against Gilbert Burns.
Perfect way to retire. I was surprised Jorge didn't want, what's his name?
Kevin Holland?
No.
Leon.
Fucking
Colby?
Oh. Yeah.
I think UFC had other plans.
And they're a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, because Jorge's not really. I mean, if he were to beat Gilbert, he's in that lane where he's such a big name. Even though he's ranked 10 or 11 now, he's in that. He's such a big name. They could still offer him those big name fights, but you lose this one, that's kind of out the window.
Do you ever see Colby Covington after he fought Usman? He just looked at me. He goes, "It's all love, man. I just had to sell a fight. I had to sell your fight."
I tell you guys this all the time. I know Colby's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like when we did food truck, I'm like, can you not do the gimmick? Can you just be? People are gonna love you. He's like, sorry, man, I can't. And then two strippers show up. Like, dude, do we have to do this? He's like, what's up, ladies? Like slapping their ass.
He's so like off camera, he's like
great guy.
Oh,
like,
that's
it's
crazy.
literally all just it's like WWE.
He should flip it. That's
He
what
should.
he should just be like, okay, now I'm nice guy.
But he's
now.
smart because he's the people's champ. What are you going to do in this business? Like he's done a great job of separating himself. He backs it up. He trains his ass off. Everything about him is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, financially it made sense, but I'd be one. He's like a real dude, man,
Yeah.
and he's a cut of cloth from Chael Sonnen. So, I bet if you all the hate he gets, like all the hate, I bet if you're like, hey, if you could redo it, dude, would you have went the heel route? He'd be like, no, absolutely not. Like, what the fuck?
He's a professional fighter.
What's
He's
up?
a
I'm just trying to sell
showman.
tickets.
He's a showman.
Yeah.
What is he doing it for? For the money or because
Showman.
he wants to be champ?
It sells fights.
Both, because I think Chael for a long time, again, Chael and him are very close. So for a long time, if you remember Chael really didn't hit the scene, even though he was this monster and he was training with, you know, Randy Couture and the Dan Hendos and the Matt Lindlands, and all those guys were getting these huge opportunities, and Chael wasn't because he was just this wrestler. So then Chael figured out, he's like, I got to do something, man. So he started playing that heel, and when he fought Paulo Filo, and you know, and that fight went like it did, and they just started talking shit, and he started getting media and attention. He's like, oh shit, look at this. So it just fed this monster. Chael likes it because he does it like in a funny, joking way. But then Colby was like, I'll take it from here, and was like, I'm going full Trump. He went the complete opposite way. It only works if you have his skill set.
Yes.
Colby is a bad motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
That dude can fight, man.
You think he'll beat Leon?
Yes.
Really?
Because of his wrestling or just his pressure?
Even though Usman was able to stop a lot of his shots and stuff?
Yeah, I know. His takedown defense did look phenomenal, and he's made a lot of changes to take on guys like Kamaru. I think Kamaru's best days are behind him. Mm-hmm. I think Kamaru a year ago would have beat Leon, and so it's both. I think it's Kamaru kind of not at the tip anymore, and then Leon work on his takedown defense. But I think Colby, he hasn't fought in a hot second, but Colby's not at his prime yet. I think with Colby's tenacity and the way he can mix it up.
How old is Colby?
That'd be a great fight, though.
Great fight.
I'm excited for that one.
I'm all about it. And I like Leon. I love Leon.
Yeah.
I love Leon.
35.
He's 35. So, for Colby, it's shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Now.
Leon, you could make the argument is much higher level striker, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, anybody with eyes can speak.
Yeah, Leon's a legit,
so that's just
legit.
But so
striker.
now, but see, what I'm looking at is then now he's got standing and banging would be a bad idea, but certainly wrestling him, putting that kind of pressure on.
Colby's thing is volume.
Yeah.
And volume and
Cardio.
not cardio, volume, and then staying in that tight distance where he can't land the kicks and all that shit. Because when you get on the outside, and Colby really doesn't play that game. Like Kamaru played that game. That's why he got knocked out that first fight, or second fight. He'll play that game, but Colby won't. He's in your face the whole, and his cardio doesn't waver. He keeps coming.
Yeah.
And I remember Kamaru in his prime went toe to toe with that and out cardio, which is nuts. That's how good Kamaru was.
Yeah.
One of the best to ever do it.
100%. Ridiculous. Also, Kamaru shocks you at how big he is. Like I saw Kamaru with Rashad, they look the same size. You never saw that? I mean, his legs are skinny.
Kamaru is like a giant muscle.
He's a giant.
He's built like a
He's like one
stingray.
giant
It's
muscle.
like this, and then goes.
His head is this wide. You're like, hello, Kamaru.
His legs are like SpongeBob. It's like
yeah.
built like that, and then
Thin
like
legs.
that.
Thin legs.
Rashad's bigger all the way around.
Like, look at that. Look at the size of him.
Hold on, Rashad's vegan now. Let's be very clear, and that's also 15 years removed
That's
from
hilarious.
professional
That's
fighting.
hilarious that he's vegan now.
Yeah, vegan, and he has a booming mushroom business. Shroom
Does he?
Business. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rashad's a smart
I'm
ass
actually a
dude.
part of that business. It's called Umbo.
Are you a shroom fan?
Not the ones that he's talking about.
Which ones are he talking about?
Are
Are you talking about like portobello mushrooms, or you like?
I'm talking portobello.
You talking about shiitake?
Yeah, like
Shiitake mushrooms?
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
like mushrooms? I'm talking like
Morels?
shrooms.
I think Rashad's really into that stuff, but the
You're in the mushroom business, as in real mushrooms that we eat on with steak
Like
and
pizza
stuff?
and stuff.
No. Like there's a company called Umbo. It's like a mushroom supplement company that me and Rashad are a part of.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's just like a bunch
Lion's
of supplements
mane,
and
all
stuff. But it funds a lot of like the psychedelic research stuff that they're all doing on mushrooms and shit now.
Yeah, I've said this before. Oh, look at you there. God damn, dude. Mr. Steal Your Girl.
How about that?
Mr. Steal Your Book.
Yeah, right,
that
man.
full head of hair?
Dude, I don't know when I started looking so fucking dorky, but it started happening about. I think it started happening about like 4 years ago. And it's just slowly.
The ears pop
Dude,
out.
I swear I started reading books about like 4 years ago, and I just. Dude, I seriously.
It might be
do. I'm
because you're
like,
hanging out with your jiu-jitsu coach. What's his name?
Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Ryan's fucking super
Ryan Hall
cool,
is like,
actually. But
Ryan
neither one of
Hall
us know how to dress.
But he's brilliant. Like savant jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really?
Savant.
Yeah, major knows
Freak,
what the hell he's
like
talking
outlaw.
about.
Well, Christian Allen, we were talking about before. He's the ultimate freak to me. I'm not as experienced, of course, as you guys, but he's a really interesting, brilliant dude. He's almost Metro. Like he's an absolute assassin. But if you saw him, you'd be like, that guy is clearly something. Like he dyes his hair. He's adorable. You know, I don't know if
I would call him adorable.
He's like, yeah,
he's a cutie pie.
He's like the prince. He's like a prince or like queen or like
he's,
or like,
you know what he is? He's a
ninja.
If Christian was like, I'm a pansexual ninja, I would be like, it makes all the sense in the world, sir. He should be on the cover of all mushroom. He's a psychedelic.
I know.
He's actually a walking psychedelic.
It's kind of a shame that he's not like a lot more popular in the MMA
he doesn't wanna
community.
be.
But he doesn't want to be. But also
Look
he's
at
just like, oh, yo, dude, those are great
Bro,
pictures.
look at him. Shredded out of his fucking mind.
Yes.
There he is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I would be like,
yeah.
there he is. He should be an ice skater.
And
he looks like an ice skater.
And we have no idea how old he is.
Nope.
No one does.
No one does. We go to the airport and we'd like look at TSA to look at his license and we let us see. He could be 60.
Yep.
Might be 22.
That looks like a gay cruise where you guys are just finished doing a step class, and that's fine. And it's 100%. I'm correct about that. And he led the class, but he'll pull your heart out of your body.
The guy on the left is Carrington Banks. That's my wrestling coach. He wrestled JUCO in Iowa.
Well, Carrington Banks is.
Yeah, he's a good coach too, huh?
Oh, phenomenal!
Is he good?
He's really good. He's kind of done fighting now, but he was one of those. I mean, he's trained with like he was on the Ultimate Fighter when they were doing the Black Zillions.
Oh,
he's been around for a long time. Yeah, he's one of my best friends in life right now. He's
That's dope, man.
Yeah, he's a really great dude, and then also he works harder than almost everyone on the team too. He's always
He's a
doing
wrestler.
like. Yeah. So he like outworks even the fighters. You know,
And he
always
came
there.
to high altitude? For what reason?
Just a few years ago, I think he came out to help Gaethje get ready for a fight,
That's a
and
great
then
picture.
Gaethje was he like tried out the team and was like, oh, I like really like this, and then moved out. So yeah, that's one of my best buds in life.
Is he gonna be in your wedding?
Yeah, he is.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
getting
yeah.
married in September.
I'm
That's
gonna.
why we told the
How old
UFC we got to get this going. Like his next fight,
Yeah.
we got to get this going because he has
He's got some
Do you
money
know
to
the
make.
date on in September?
It's September 1st.
So they're gonna send contracts soon
Let's get it.
because we got a wedding that we can't.
We gotta pay
move.
for.
Yeah,
And we-
well, you don't even pay for it. We were
Right.
fine on that end.
Yep.
I'm just saying we can't. We were sent out the invitation. That's
true.
So UFC, it's either you send it now or this after September.
can't rearrange
You
a
don't want to be
wedding.
on camp during your fucking cutting weight.
I don't want to, but I'll do it. You know.
Hell yeah, you
I'll,
will.
I'll do it.
the-
but
that's the
shit,
job.
Erica won't love it, but I'll do it. You know?
No cake for me.
Yeah.
She shoves cake in your face. All.
It was actually like kind of a fight at first. You know, she was like, "Look, don't have a fight around our wedding," and I was like,
Yeah. I mean,
I was like,
Okay.
well, if they tell me I'm
Yeah,
going to, and she was like, and I was like, look, if they tell me I'm going to.
this is what you signed up
Yeah.
for, girl. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
yeah. It's just
Well,
what you
that's-
signed. Like, if the UFC call and say, "Hey, you have number one contenders fight," and if you're not gonna be like, I'm getting, can we push it? Like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else, dude.
Now, the
Like,
show,
no, I'll
the
do it.
show
I'll do
must
it.
go on.
Yeah.
It's like stand up is a little bit like that too. Or if you're doing a TV show, or you're not going to be like, hey guys, I can't do this show. I got to. No, we're shooting the show. It's $1 million production. It's like anything else.
But if you're a big enough draw, like if you're Ray Romano and it's your show,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, bitch, I'll
You
be there. when
plan,
I
but
get
you-
there.
even he
But
has to plan
Yeah,
a
but
year
for him,
ahead.
he's earned that the spot he's in where
Yeah.
you're in a good position where you can be like, weddings happen September, down to fight whoever for the number one spot. But September I can't. You're in a position where they can be like, all right, let's understand.
Yeah, hopefully.
Where they're not going to move on.
How old are
Guaranteed.
you?
For
Cory?
Erica's sake, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be 31 next week.
Wow, 31.
That's
That's your prime.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a little break. Guys, I will see you in Helium at Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon. Those tickets are going very fast, by the way. April 20th to the 22nd. We will sell out. Then I got the Comedy Zone at the Versatility Theater in Port Charlotte, Florida. It's Thursday, May 4th to the 6th of May. And then I got the Stress Factory, May 11th to the 13th. Eric Griffin, come on in here and say hi. The great Eric Griffin, one of my favorite people, as I do these reads. I'm just talking about my stand-up stuff. Brendan will be in Atlanta this weekend at the Atlanta Funny Bone, I think. Come get some from Atlanta. Punchline. Then La Jolla Comedy Store, June 2nd to June 4th. Then he's across the pond, going to Belfast, Glasgow, Manchester, London, Cardiff, Dublin. So go to, what is it? FATKZ.com. Guys, here's the thing about drugs. If you need your medicine, it can be very expensive. But Rex MD makes getting generic and branded things like Viagra or Cialis easy because everything's online, even the prescription. And they deliver it to your door. There are no office visits, no talking to a receptionist. It's very, very simple. And you know that Viagra can cost up to $90 a pill, but with Rex MD, it has generic Viagra for just as low as $2 a pill. That's my friends in the background there. Sorry. But either way, it's fast, simple, cheap, and you can access your U.S. licensed Rex MD physician anytime you need afterwards. It's helped over 300,000 guys. Rex MD, listen to this. It's helped over 300,000 guys get generic Viagra quickly and conveniently, and anonymously, by the way. Rex MD just works, and it works the very first night. How about that? So act now. Take advantage of their deal by heading to rexmd.com/fighter. rexmd.com/fighter. Our exclusive deal will save you up to 90% off when you'll pay as low as $2 per dose on generic Viagra instead of $90 on whatever. Starter packets of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/fighter for up to 90% off plus a free gift. Your partner will thank you. Here's the thing, guys. You want the best supplements on planet Earth. You want something for your brain. You want to focus better. You want to remember things better. They got Alpha Brain. They got Alpha Brain Instant, Alpha Brain Black Label, Alpha Brain Focus Shot. If you want something for your mood or for your sleep, they got New Mood. They got melatonin spray. You want something for your digestive health. I had food poisoning so bad, and I'm telling you, I was sick for 1 month. I was nauseous for a month. I took Total Gut Health, those packets. I think after 3 days, gone. They've really got scientifically backed supplements, and they do not cut corners. You got your daily support. You got your krill oil. You want great fish oil? Krill oil is the best. Essential nutrients. You got Shroom Tech Greens. You got vitamin D spray. It just keeps going. Either way, go to onnit.com/FATK. onnit.com/FATK. And you will get the best workout gear, everything you need for health, everything you want for optimized health. onnit.com/FATK.
Yeah.
And he has some good options coming up in the fight world. There's really like only we were talking about food truck. There's only like really at his level, he's number 3 in the world, and you have Aljo.
It's so good, I can't take it. You're number 3 in the world. That's such a big deal. It's such a big deal.
In the bantamweight division,
it's so hard. That's so hard to be number 3 in the world.
You know, it's tough.
It's
gig
so
in the world.
hard.
But B, you'll love this. I'm pulling for Figueiredo. Figueiredo. That's what. If it's up to me, that's happening. But you'll love this. His mindset changed because he had so much pressure on him. He started reading. What book were you reading?
So I've been reading a lot of books.
There was one with a philosopher, right? Like changed your.
Yeah. So So I watch YouTube videos too sometimes.
That counts.
Man, in the last camp, I had a moment where I was sitting on the couch and because of all the pressure and just like the physical being tired and waking up sore week after day after day after week, you know, I was sitting there and I was like, I can't fucking do this for the next 5-6 years of my life. Like I'm not gonna I'm not going to do this in this way. And I was like, okay, well, what needs to change? It's like, okay, well, one, I'm not going to stop fighting. You know, like this is what I love, like deep down. So I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do? And I was like, well, you got to fucking quit putting so much pressure on yourself, or else you're not going to enjoy a second of this.
Yes.
You're not going to enjoy a second of it, because in camp, in the past, yeah, like you enjoy it, but not really.
No.
You know, like you're just like, fuck, man, I'm just tired and sore. I got to go do these like couple workouts today.
It's Monday and you're doing the same shit.
It's the same
Tuesday,
shit over, and
Thursday.
it can be like and then you add in a bunch of pressure, and you add in like just all the like the stupid silly things that go on in your head. And I was sitting there and I was like, I'm not doing this for the next 5 years, so what needs to change? And I was like, I'm having fun with this from now on. And it was like a decision that I made right there. And I was like, I'm being mindful, I'm going into the gym, and I'm only taking it day by day, and I'm having fun with this shit. And I was, and it really like came
and that's
off
just
in the
being
fight.
more present, right?
Being more present, and also just
Deciding.
like just trying to like develop my character a little bit too, and like decide what I thought, like what I thought was important to me. You know, like, is winning the title more important than like me living a life and having a career where I make myself into this like badass, fearless guy? Like, that's what I really want to be, is like this fearless being, and that's what I want to kind of be in life. You know, like if I get rich, then cool, but really I want to be fearless. And it's like, okay, well, how do I be fearless? You can't like be obsessed with winning and losing and be fearless.
Yeah.
Like, you get fearless by like letting go of all of that stuff. And I wouldn't say not care, but you just make the value less than like being a super high character, brave guy.
Yeah, I think you care about winning and losing, but it doesn't define you.
It doesn't
like it's not
define
going to
you.
consume your every being, every moment of your life.
And it becomes not the reason that you do it.
Well, I think the guys there's guys who go through life, especially in sports, when they're at a high level, and it's just about winning. And it's all that. But I guarantee if they're never happy. They're like, if you heard Michael Jordan talk, or if you heard Kobe talk, they're like these ultimate winners. They put all the pressure on themselves. And then you ask like their friends, like, yeah, he's kind of an asshole, man. Like, it's not a way you want to go through life.
And-
like, granted, they have all the accolades, they have all the fucking trophies, they have all the money in the bank, but they're not happy people.
I would say that my whole career has almost been trying to do both at the same time.
Yep.
And realizing how like you kind of can't serve masters. Like, you can't be like the Zen Buddha guy and fucking psychopath Michael Jordan,
That's right.
like kind of at the same
They
time.
don't mix.
But I do think that there is a way that you can still do it.
I would
you know?
say this. I would say this as somebody who's lived, more than half a century and gone
Brian's,
through my own
Brian's
struggles.
84 years old.
Yeah,
Tell him.
but I think
He wrestled in high school.
part of
Tell him,
yes, part of like just trying to get better at something and in this business and failing
Yeah.
way more than you succeed, as you and
Yeah.
I know a lot about, is a part of the way you become fearless. And I think I've become way closer to that than I was. You're always going to be afraid of things, but part of the way you deal with being fearless is tell the fucking truth in every aspect of your life. In every aspect, say what you mean and live what you mean. And I will say this: like everyone, most people who are listening, and this went for me as well. We always provide little outlets and recesses for ourselves. There's this image of yourself that you have in your brain that is the one that is representative of the angels of your best nature.
Let's see, there's three faces.
Well, the phase, there is that image in your mind's eye of the perfect Cory Sandhagen. And I'm not talking about just a fighter, I'm talking about as the man. And that requires responsibility and courage in a lot of ways, right? It's actually not only being able to conceive what that is, but living that. And what all of us do is we give ourselves little respites. It's like, dude, I'm honest and I'm a great guy and everything. Let me dip my toe over here a little bit. Let me fuck around a little bit. Now, I don't think that's necessarily, sometimes being a bit of a misfit is almost necessary, and it's what gets you into being a fighter.
Can't get a release?
Self-destruction. A little
Can't get a little
self-destruction.
release?
Little comic.
Little release?
Little outlaw on it.
Little
You want a little
release?
outlaw. You want to be a little outlaw. Okay? I understand. I understand. Young warrior energy, I understand. But I do think that what you're probably talking about, whether you know it or not, is it was just when you were saying this, is the idea of living like you're just telling the truth across the board. Part of what you just did is tell the truth. Just that idea of just saying, I'm just going to fucking decide to have fun. I can't be Michael Jordan and a Zen Buddhist at the same time. And we try to wear these different hats, but something that really helps, I think, is to.
And I think taking the
truly
pressure
be
off
honest.
yourself, it's, you know, like I was telling him when I picked him up this morning from the hotel, but it's like, if there's one regret I had in my career is I never stopped and smelled the roses.
Never.
I was never present.
Never.
I would beat Crow Cop, Gabriel Gonzaga. Didn't even celebrate that. It was like, what's next?
Well, we had
What's
this talk
next?
the other day, right?
Well, who's next? What's next? And the coach was like, slow down, dude. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
you still have that. That's your liability, but you're way better.
I'm way better now.
But we had that talk in Austin about that. It's like sometimes you just gotta and you forget, because if you get too ambitious and your eyes on the prize, you're gonna miss everything around you. That's for all of us. And
You also lose friends because you're not connecting on it. Because
Not
if
returning
it's
calls,
just
you're not
about
just-
business, it's like this, dude. You
Yeah.
have blinders on, and then you're missing the best things.
And
in
the
life.
irony is you have nothing to talk about after that.
And then you're by yourself. You're like, yeah, but I won. Like, cool, dude. You're
I
all
know.
alone.
I know.
It's like, yeah, but I won.
I know. When I think about like what I want my life to be like, you know, and like how I want to look back at like these fucking awesome years that I'm
Yeah,
having
man.
right now and getting to live in, I'm like, fuck, man, do I really not want to enjoy a second of it? Because that's kind of what it more or less was for a bit,
Yeah.
you know, or at least it felt like that at times.
But I think a lot of fighters relate to that because
Yeah.
it's like so competitive, and there's always things you can work on. It's like a painting you're never going to finish, so you can always go to the gym and work on something. And then so there's that monster behind you constantly, like, you better do this, better do this.
Yeah.
Is
It
there
sucks.
a book or anything that you read that changed your point of view or something?
No, I
a
think
lecture.
Not really, man. Like, I mean, I've read like a lot of books on this kind of stuff, but it took me, I think, just like having that like really shitty day and those like really shitty couple of weeks, and me sitting on the couch and be like, I'm not doing this shit anymore unless I change something.
Yeah.
You know, like it was just an accumulation of all of that stuff.
But at least you still have the love for fighting, because my thing was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I'm out. I'm going to find an exit strategy. I'm getting the fuck. I'm not happy doing this. I need to get out. You know, but for you, like, you love fighting. You have the skill set, the experience to be a world champion. So it's like, you just got to tweak some things in what you're doing, and you had the best performance of your career. So it's like, obviously, you found out a formula that works for you.
There's nothing more that I like in life than going to the gym and like figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Like that I think is like I don't see myself as much of like a martial arts thinker much, but I do think that I am. Like I spend a ton of hours a week just grabbing a training partner and trying new shit. We're like trying something new, like a lot like how you guys do with your guys' comedy. You guys write down stuff, you guys go out, you're like,
Try
okay,
it.
is this working?
Yep.
Is this worth investing more time into
Correct.
this joke? So because like, or is it just a complete fail and
Yeah.
it would take too much time to get it going? I do the exact same thing. I just do it in the fighting area.
Yep.
Yeah, because for me, like not repeating myself and not obsessing over the same questions is really difficult. So like the challenge becomes, you've been doing it as long as I have. You don't want to fall into the same old patterns. Because a lot of times you'll see writers, they fall into this. They're really
They keep just doing
they're
different
wrestling with the same
variations. They
question.
keep
Yeah,
doing different.
it's like the striker that never learns wrestling.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going
It's
to ask
just
you
the
that.
same version. Like
Yeah,
you see comics
musicians do that,
comics a
comics.
lot. Like you watch one special and the next one, like, well, it's the same thing, just
Yes.
different topics, but
Yes.
just, you're saying the same shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge, is like constantly shaking yourself up, like try something different, right? Do you that must be the same case in fighting? You fall into patterns, your happy place, so you've got to always kind of be evolving, or
Yeah, I think you always have to be evolving. I think that, but it just like makes it more fun that way, one. And then two, I think that I would argue that like sport is a lot less creative than like what you guys are doing, because like time and like the things that you guys make jokes about are always changing. Like
Yes.
in football, there's like a tried and true way to like win football games. You know, like you go outside of the box a little bit, but you don't go like way outside the box. Like you guys kind of have to. So sport, I think, is a little bit different than that in that way. But also I think that because of where MMA is in its like history right now, is it's in this really creative space where kind of people can do and make stuff up right now big time, because
there's no right answer right
there is
now.
no right answer
Yeah.
right now. I think that we will get to a day where people fight a lot more similarly, where like certain techniques are a lot more better done than other ones. But right now it's like this just mosh pot of like, you can win however right
Yep.
now, you know, which is
if you
is
had
cool.
a son and he wanted to be an MMA, what
No.
would you? No. But what if you had to? I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him.
Right. I that would be smart. But say your son was like, I got to do this. He had a lot of talent. What is is it wrestling first? What's the base that you would suggest?
I don't think I think it would have to be everything all at once.
That's how
What young kids are doing.
That's how he came up.
That's
right?
how I started.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's one of the younger kids that the sport was, even though it's new, it was still around. So now you're seeing kids they're good at mixed martial arts. They're really good at mixed martial. They're good at everything.
Right.
They don't really excel like that. And that's where, to his point, the game's going to get there where kids are going to be great at everything. But right now you're seeing like, Cory's really, really, he's an outlier when it comes to striking, and his jiu-jitsu is really good. But you're going to see eventually where MMA kids are damn good at everything. But right now, because it's new, like that kid who fought this Rosa Jr., he's pretty good at everything. He's not great at everything.
Right.
So those guys get eaten up when they get to a certain level.
Right.
'Cause they're facing a guy who's straight up an outlier at wrestling or an outlier at striking.
Right.
They get exposed.
That's
'Cause they
also
have
why
such these huge gaping holes. In
Yeah,
the
it
game.
feels like the guys like Daniel Cormier and Bo Nickel and Yoel Romero, they'd been competing for so long that their competitive mindset, their mindset in general, they had been competing at such a difficult sport at such a high level. But then again, like you said, like it feels like those guys, their learning curve is a lot faster.
Well, they have a foundation where they don't need to work on.
Yeah, because they've been watching
Wrestling,
people move
check.
their whole life. Yeah.
So then their camp, they can just focus on striking, and
Right.
figure out how to get the guy down.
So they can kind of almost ignore wrestling when you're at that level.
Not throwing, like, you ever seen DC throw a kick?
No.
Like, he's not throwing kicks.
No.
It's not, he's throwing them, but
Yeah.
it's not going to win him fights. His thing is his game plan. There's already a huge base there, wrestling. Nobody's going to out wrestle us. So we have that covered. Biggest part of the game.
Yeah.
We dictate where the fight goes. We can cover that.
Right.
You know?
So then the rest is just learn some submissions, learn how to not get caught and things
But,
like
and
that.
as good as DC career was, cool, well, now you're fighting John Jones. He can wrestle. He's not an Olympic wrestler, but inside the octagon, he's
Now you're gonna have to
better
deal with
than-
his strike.
Now you're going to be forced to strike. How's that going to go for you? You know?
Fuck.
The goal is to be the best at everything, That's definitely the goal. That's not realistic, of course. But, you can make your like B and C things. So if my plan A is to strike with people, B and C are wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I can at least always have A. And as long as my B and C is better than the opposition's B and C, like let's take the last fight, for example, with Chito. If A is Chito's thing is striking, that's his A thing. My thing is striking, A. But if I'm a better wrestler, then like I win that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Like I win that fight.
Yeah.
Like that's why I won that fight, is because I got a takedown in the first, the second, and the fifth.
Yeah.
That's not the only reason, but that's a big reason on the scorecards why I was able to win that fight by like a really large margin. And that's because my B and C things are now better than my opposition that have the same thing that they're good at. My secondary things are better than theirs now.
That's why that Merab fight's interesting, because his A thing is wrestling. Your A thing is striking. So, like, who's going to be able to implement that game plan that's going to be able to at least neutralize some of the guy's A?
Yeah.
And that's who wins that fight.
That's who wins that
When
fight.
you're watching that tape and you're watching Merab, just put that pressure on Peter Yan and take him down 45 times, where the fuck it is. Like, are you working with your wrestling coaches to kind of like, this is how you stop this? Are you isolating
No, you
that?
got
Yes,
to do you got to do Cory too, but then also that Peter Yan Merab fight, before you answer, was a perfect matchup for Merab.
Right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Perfect matchup.
Yeah.
Peter Yan's not throwing things down the middle that's going to, knees, or throw anything down the middle that's going to stop
That-
Merab from shooting in.
Yeah, that's-
So he can shoot in all day.
But if you take a
Rent-free.
knee to the head,
You can shoot rent-free all day.
I realized that like as that fight was happening, I was like, oh, this is the absolute worst matchup that Jan could have asked for, because he doesn't throw anything up the middle,
It's rent-free.
Yeah, rent free. But a reason that I want to fight Merab is because since that Sterling fight,
sorry, man.
all I've been fucking doing is grappling and wrestling, and trying to figure out that art. And like, I want to fight a guy like Merab, one, to like challenge myself before I become champ, but two, because I want to show everyone how good of a wrestler I am, and I want to show myself how good of a wrestler I am.
You've been wrestling for a hot second.
I mean, I've been wrestling as long as since since I first started.
15, 16?
Yeah. So
That's a lot of wrestling.
yes.
15 years of wrestling.
With
I
some
think
of the
unless you're just a
high-level
complete
coaches.
moron, your wrestling should be pretty fucking good.
Sure.
15 years of, if I played golf for 15 years, I get pretty fucking
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your wrestling's going to be on a high level.
A lot of it's like making sure you see every look too, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that. I think part of what made Khabib.
What do you mean every look, dude? Huh?
Well, so if
in
you're
wrestling?
wrestling like those Dagestani guys
wrestling?
and they're coming at you with all kinds of weird chain wrestling you haven't seen before, you're gonna have a hard time. So that's why it behooves you to know what that Sambo / Greco-Roman.
But you want to go too far down the rabbit hole of their Dagestani chain wrestling, because when it comes down to the octagon, like some of it works, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So he's not going to spend his entire time learning the fucking chain wrestling of Dagestan.
Well, it seems
punch
like
him in
those
the
guys,
face.
what he did to like Justin Gaethje and stuff, who was a folk wrestler, didn't know a lot of that stuff. It looked like he just some of those guys
he
just
didn't
don't know
use chain
what's
wrestling
coming.
against Gaethje though. That wasn't Dagestan.
But just the kind of stuff that he does with those upper body throws and stuff looks different. Am I wrong?
I think that what the Dagestani guys have figured out before everyone else is they know how to hold people down.
Yes.
You know, like there's
Wrist
plenty
control.
there's plenty of like
Show off. Get
there's
out of
plenty
there.
of super good wrestlers here in the US, but the problem with those wrestlers is that they would take people down, but guys are so good at standing up now that they're just not able to hold them down. What Khabib figured out and what that area of the world has figured out, I think better than a lot of the other people, is they figured out how to take you down and pin you there. And
with the
that-
wrist control, the gathering of the legs. Like when you see, that's why kudos to Conor. Like when Khabib had him in that mount and was, had his legs together and Conor was able to stand back up, you're like, holy shit.
Well, Conor didn't let him close his hands. Conor did better against Khabib than maybe anybody in that whole division for a long time. He just didn't let him close. You close your hands.
back, yeah.
It took Khabib a while to like finish that single on Conor, definitely. Yeah. But I also think that like if you're so good and so much better than someone at something, even if things fail 1, 2, 3, like on 4 or 5 or 6, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
If you're that much better than those guys.
If you're such an outlier in that area, yeah. Any other stupid questions?
What are you doing there?
Just trying to hit your neck.
I don't like that. 'Cause I can't die.
Your old neck.
Well, I can't go like that because then my throat's
Oh, okay,
exposed.
so I won't do it because I want you to die. That's a fake die. There you go.
Don't you hate friends who are like, gang? And you're like, dude, it's not funny. You just
You were in
like,
high school when kids would
hit
hit you in the nuts all the time?
Yeah, like,
I never.
sack
I don't want to
tap.
hang out like that.
It's a sack tap.
I was like, where are we
Yeah,
doing this, man?
I'm not into sack taps.
I didn't have fun doing that, dude.
I had two idiot friends. Fucking idiots. And that, I'm still in touch with one. I hope you're listening, you fucking idiot. They would listen to this. They would wait till you ate and punch you in the stomach. Like, gotcha. Like, I'm not hanging out with you. You fucking idiot.
Did you guys used to? You guys know what bodies is?
What's
like
that?
go bodies in the bathroom with your buddies.
Oh,
Bang-
you dress
bang- bang a guy in the
dress
ass.
Yeah,
to the
only
butt.
punches to the body.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
ever play that? Was that like?
Yeah, we do that. punches to the face.
Yeah, no punches to the face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
that was
to get all
that was
fucked up.
That was like middle school in the bathroom.
Where'd you go to high school?
Smoky Hill.
Oh yeah, Smoky
Yeah,
Hill.
well,
Yeah.
guys,
Smoky Hill,
guys are guys on the bathroom. What?
Not Smoky
Is that
Hill,
is that code for dry humping?
no man?
Is that code for guy coming?
No, dude. You
I don't know.
know the coach of the fucking Miami Dolphins from Smoky Hill?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's kind
yeah.
of cool.
Smoky Hill's great shit.
Yeah.
Dan Soder.
Yeah,
these guys
he's
are before
hilarious.
Dan Soder's a beast.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah,
yeah,
Smoky
he's
Hill, dude.
Yeah, he made a joke about Aurora one time and their voices.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck, man, I have that same voice." I was like, "I have that same
What
was the
annoying,
joke?
nasally voice."
Yeah.
It was like a bit about like how people from Aurora have accents, and he was like, he goes, "Yeah, dude, like this is one of the guys from Aurora." So I'm like, and I was like, "That's exactly what
exactly
I
how
fucking
we
sound
sound,
like." I was
yeah.
like, "God damn it!"
I did this
Dan's
joke.
Aurora's finest.
I literally did, I was in Denver and I did this joke, but it was a true story. And all I did was I went Denver. I go, this is amazing. I go, this place is so different. I saw two white guys, of course, come out of a brewery. Of course. And one of them goes like this. He goes, one guy goes, how about this day, huh? And his buddy goes, I know, right? And then the guy goes, hey, do you want to go to the aquarium?
Yeah.
And his buddy goes, yeah. And they just kind of dance down the street, only in Denver.
Yeah.
The aquarium.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there's an aquarium in Denver.
What's the Denver crowd like? Like when you
Great.
guys?
They're
Unbelievable.
Oh, are they great? Okay.
Unbelievable.
But what kind of jokes do they like? Do they
Everything.
like
Comedy
everything.
Works.
okay.
Comedy Works.
Comedy
They
Works is one
take
of the
your
best.
phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you been to Comedy Works in
Yep.
Denver? Yeah, one of
Yep.
the best.
My
one of the
favorite
best
club
there
in
is.
some
Yeah,
ways.
it's great.
It's, I mean,
really
it's electric. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
Denver has
such a
some
low
like
scene.
TJ Miller's from Denver. Yeah, there's some
Nice.
monsters out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Hilarious.
Roseanne started there.
Really?
Yep.
What's she up to now?
Forgot about that. Living in Austin, on her endless property.
Yeah, she made all the money on that Roseanne show.
That was a great show.
Then she got in a little bit of trouble with her tweets and stuff.
She just did her special it was on Fox Nation.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh dang, she's still doing specials.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a
stand-up.
Fox Nation one. Yeah, I think.
She still packs it in, still making
I
money.
think Carlton Tucker opened for her.
Tucker Carlson.
What I call him? Carlton Tucker.
You said Carlson Tucker.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm not.
stage
I'm not a fan.
That's the statement.
Just die. Just die and pass. Just sometimes
I should've just said
when you
Tucker.
fuck up in the joke, you just have to pass out.
Just the fuck up
Yeah.
goat.
Artie Lang used to do this character where he would do you know who Artie Lang is? Fucking so funny. Artie Lang would do this character where he was like an actor in LA and be so appalled. Yeah, things.
I mean, before. Let's look
Yeah,
at this. That's him before.
Yeah. If you give no context,
Oh, God, is
you
that his
Corey
real
goes,
nose?
Jesus Christ! Yeah, his nose from snorting. I think it was glass.
Glass.
'Cause
Yeah.
He did so much like cocaine and other shit.
What?
Yeah, he had
He
a-
snorted glass, and that's what his nose started to look like.
Yeah, he had a heroin problem, and then so he was.
How would it make it look like that?
His nose collapsed
From all the
because they had to
glass?
cut
Oh.
it all up. Out. He had to take everything out.
Jeez.
He's a great guy, and he's one of the funniest people ever, naturally. And now you took me out of the mood.
He mentioned Artie Lang, so I was like,
Yeah, this got really dark. I wish you didn't bring him up. Let's do some current events. I got like 15 minutes.
okay, cool. Real quick
Oh,
though,
they got dark.
question for Corey. I heard on different podcasts that you like to go camping and hike and all that stuff, and then you said you want to get into fishing now. Have you been fishing before, or you just actually want to start fishing?
I mean, I've been fishing. The person that is teaching me right now, just a buddy of mine, is teaching me how to cast. And I'm
Like
trying
fly
to
rods
figure
or
that shit
regular?
out. Yeah, I'm gonna go fly fishing.
Oh, that's dope.
Fly's
Yeah.
the toughest, right?
That is, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Fly's the toughest.
I'm going to be in
stuff.
Portland, and I'm fishing for sturgeon.
Oh, those are humongous,
They
dude.
get up to 10 feet big.
Yeah.
Bring
Bigger.
up sturgeon.
No, they get
This
bigger.
is in Portland. This is a river
But,
shark.
but the reason why
10
Chin
feet.
brought up fishing, because Chin fishes all.
That's what I love to
cool.
do. Outside
Oh,
of
look at
this,
that.
that's what I
Oh,
Oh,
love.
are you a fly fish?
That's what they got.
I've never really fly fished before, so I want to try that too.
Look at the size of those sturgeon.
Yeah, they're big, dude.
No, they're
yeah,
getting
that's
enormous.
nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's in a river. That's a fucking shark.
What are you doing?
Jeez.
I don't know. I'm going to catch one.
Bring it back home.
I'm gonna
dude.
shoot it.
I'll put it in my
Chin,
tank.
What kind of fishing do you do? Is it just?
I don't
like,
know. I'm,
Lake fishing
All of
mostly.
it? Yeah,
Yeah, so
okay.
trout. I love catching trout, bass,
Take a break.
nice.
sturgeon.
and catching cooks. I like doing catching cooks too. So if you catch it at the campsite, cook it up.
Yeah,
it's just
cool.
a great experience.
Yeah.
Fishes
nice.
like all the time.
You're
Nice.
into fly fishing?
I don't really like hiking anymore. I'm
Why
like,
not?
I'm
You
just
over it?
like over it. You
yeah,
know?
I can
Like, I'm
vibe
just
with
like,
that.
fuck it,
wow.
man. Like,
When you do it enough.
You got to drive 3 hours to go anywhere that's
a
like really
hassle.
pretty,
In
and
Denver,
then you
yeah,
get,
you
and
go
then you got to
far.
sleep in your car the night before, so you can
You
get
ever
it.
seen
It's like a
any
pain in the ass.
mountain lion out there?
No, only tracks. The tracks scare me plenty. I almost ran into a bear one time. That was pretty fucking scary. It was with its cubs.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah, that was pretty.
Nightmare.
That was a pretty scary
Not
one.
good.
Your girl would go hiking with you?
No,
No. Yeah.
she likes like.
This is a
Feeder
video
and
one of my
shit, so.
friends sent me. A fan during a meet and greet decided to try to oil check Kevin Hart.
Oh god.
Why?
I don't know.
Tell me,
Just,
Kevin Hart's not the guy to do it. Look how big Kevin is, first of all.
So let it replay here in a sec.
Wait, did he
Here we go,
reach
here we
around
go.
and grab his ass?
Yeah, so they're trying to take a picture here.
Kids are so dumb.
stupid.
Dude. Teenagers are so dumb.
And he's doing it just for like this viral moment. Like
Yeah.
he's probably like, man, how can we just not get a picture? We create a viral moment. Let me put my finger in Kevin Holland's ass.
So stupid.
Like, how do your buddies gotta go, man, I feel like it's a bad idea.
What was he doing there? Grab his ass?
Oil check.
So in wrestling, oil check, right? You wrestle.
Touch here.
No, you stick your finger in his butthole.
Oh, an
Oil
oil
check.
check. He did that to him when he was doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
He like reached around and put his finger in
Meet
his
and
back.
greet photo.
He's lucky Kevin Holland didn't beat the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Holland's like a real life superhero.
What is that shit?
People are stupid.
I'm so glad I didn't
Show me
grow
how
up
he-
with
show
like
me-
video
show me-
cameras
show
on
me
me
what
all
you
the time.
You know,
I don't believe what you're saying. So
Hey, bro, did you actually wrestle? You never heard of oil check?
yeah, I
It's a
wrestled.
wrestling.
Fucking, I'll show you my pictures. My high school pictures. Corey, let me show you my high school wrestling
Yeah,
pictures.
isn't it strange
Double
though?
leg.
Isn't it strange though? Like, yeah, kids today, it's like back in the day, like an autograph would have been dope.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, what can
It's
I do
so
to go
fucking
viral?
I know.
Let me
I
hit Kevin
know.
Holland in the nuts.
I wonder what it felt like.
It upsets me so much that we live a day and age where like you can get famous without being good at something.
Correct.
Just
That,
the
like,
lens
makes me
has to
so
be on
mad.
you. Just the lens has to be on you for
It
long.
makes me so mad.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else you got?
All right, here's a quick one. This is in Tijuana. I guess before in Tijuana, this time of the year, the first 3 months of the year, there's like, 1 inch of rain, but now there's like 9 to 10 inches of rain.
Yeah.
So these buildings fell, and then someone captured it on video
So there's
from this
cartel
cliff.
and buildings.
They're gigantic buildings too.
Nobody was in there.
No, they dispersed the crowd way before because they
You
knew
could
it
tell
was a
it started to
landslide.
slippy.
But look how
Hey,
crazy this
camera
is.
guy.
I know,
Get
but they're
better.
freaking out. Look how gigantic this.
No way.
Holy fuck. Imagine you had a taco stand underneath there. Your entire life
There
savings.
goes my business.
Jesus
But that looked pretty
Christ.
crazy, yeah.
But even with all the rain in LA, like you drive down PCA or Malibu,
Yeah.
one of the roads was shut down, single road, because all the rock slides, like
When you
massive
leave here,
boulders.
you want to go to PCH from here? Dude, I've seen like huge boulders
Me too.
pass by, yeah.
Why you gotta have a strong roof in your car?
Boom. On Friday when I was driving, it was shut down in one lane, and there was like a massive boulder. In my head, I'm like, oh, dude,
dude.
if it's just your time to go and that rock's like, you know what, dude?
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Yep.
Dude, and you're
Literally.
driving, it's game over.
Or it just rolls on your lap and you're like, ah,
yeah.
ah fuck, there go my
It's
legs.
like,
Ah, fuck, I'll never be able to do jujitsu again.
Here's another quick one. I just saw this literally right
my
now.
God.
So this 50-year-old surfer from Hawaii,
God, ain't that a bitch, dude?
like it was like 6 to 8 foot.
Loses foot. That tiger shark was like, you know what, dude?
Yeah.
Let me try that foot.
Oh man, that
He's been
hurts
surfing for
so
40
bad.
years and nothing like this happened. So it was an 8-foot tiger shark.
It's just bound to get you.
And thankfully his friends, they put a tourniquet on his
Dude, fucking mahalo, bro.
leg. But so he lost his foot.
God, he's fucking hang loose.
What a bummer that is. So it's just losing your foot.
40 years of surfing.
Oh, hold on, dude. Your life's changed forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's older. You know?
Yeah, he's had a good run.
yeah,
At least he's not 21.
he was
like,
back
yeah,
on the
I've
waves
been
the
looking
next
for
day.
something to
No, he
call it.
wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he
So
wasn't.
he's probably 60 something years old. He's
58. Yeah.
58.
Look how cool with losing his.
I know,
fucking
that's
foot.
That's why he's like
That's why it's so
mahalo,
dope.
dude.
I'd be like this. Don't take my picture.
I'd be like this.
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be all positive.
While
I'd be
eating
like,
shark.
Fuck off.
I wonder if he'll get like a peg leg.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That might
Like an old
be why
pirate.
he's
They
excited.
have a
Yeah.
really, really good prosthetics now, but you know what? They're not good. They're not as good as your real foot.
Yeah.
He's had a good run. Surfing out there in Hawaii, there's so many sharks. 40 years, every day surfing.
That's a long time.
It's a good run.
It's a pretty good run, yeah.
You know, though, you're right. You're tempting fate after a while.
Well, that's why people go, the odds are. It's like, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But that guy's missing a fucking leg, dude.
No, you don't want to do that.
At least it was just a foot.
It was just a foot.
We had a buddy who he was a special force guy in Australia, and they were doing like
De
some
Gelder, Paul
Navy.
de Gelder.
Paul de Gelder. He works for Discovery Shark Week. He was doing I don't know why I'm laughing. He was doing a mission like with the Navy SEALs, and there's a tiger shark. And they're like, oh, look, tiger shark. He's like, yeah, that thing's big, man, whatever. It's nighttime. And it was like, cool story. Chomp, took his arm.
Bubba, you're so wrong. This whole story.
Took his arm.
I know, Bubba. You're telling stories. You're terrible storyteller.
No, I'm trying to-
But none of that is true. Can
No,
I
his
tell the
arm didn't
story?
get bit off?
Yes, Bubba. Can I tell the story?
Go ahead, but it's too detailed, and we
It's
got to get
not too
going.
detailed.
Go ahead.
It's not.
The shark didn't bite off his arm?
It's actually on video.
He didn't bite off his arm, then his leg?
So what happened was they were cleaning. They were in Sydney Bay Harbor
At
and
night.
He was an Australian Navy SEAL, Not night, Bubba. It was right during the day.
No, it wasn't.
It's
Was
a
that
video,
night?
Bubba. Please. I've heard him tell it. Not only
know
on
he
this
was on here.
podcast, but I know. Wasn't at nighttime. And I like your attitude. And I like how you're
thought
sticking
he
to your
said
guns.
night.
And that's okay that you thought that. But I'm just
Okay,
gonna
not
take it from
night.
here.
Okay.
So they were cleaning. They had to clean this fucking it was basically like this maintenance job. And all of a sudden he feels a sawing on his leg. A sawing.
Oh.
And he looks down and he just sees a black eye. And he goes, "Oh, that's a shark," and it bites his leg off. But he instinctively punches it, starts punching it, and then he goes, "Well, I don't have a leg. I'm going to side stroke. I'm going to side stroke to the fucking And he looks up and his hand's gone. And now he doesn't have a leg or a hand.
How much quicker was mine? Less his arm.
No, but you were telling
pretty
us.
similar.
this, right?
They were pretty similar.
No, they're not though, because it's a good
Wait a
story.
second. It was during the day, not night.
You're like telling it
How
all
dare you?
backwards. You
The
gotta-
details were right. The Sydney Bay. You had me thinking you knew
let's
more.
give it a real. I mean, it did happen to him. So let me don't.
He lost his arm and leg.
He lost his arm
End.
first, and it was a night. And then he gets in the boat.
right.
And he dies. He basically looks and he goes, "Oh, this isn't so bad. My worst nightmare didn't hurt that bad. Now I'm going to die," and just lost consciousness.
Oh, he died.
But he didn't die. No, because he was on the show, right?
Well, his heart stopped. Then
he didn't. Yeah.
they had to revive
See?
him.
Details.
Good details.
Yep.
Good details. Respect
Lost
the man's
arm, leg, didn't
his,
die.
Respect his leg and arm loss.
No, that's
Don't just
cliff notes.
Don't clip it. If you're gonna clip it, make it accurate.
No. No. Shark attack.
Terrible.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, Atlanta. I'll see. Shit, I got to fly to Atlanta on Thursday. Atlanta, see this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Atlanta, do the Dirty Bird Shuffle with your boy on stage. Atlanta, April 13th or 15th. La Jolla, California, June 2nd through the 4th at the Comedy Store. And I'm jumping on over the pond. Belfast, June 15th. Glasgow, Manchester, London, Cardiff, Dublin. It's a theater run, one show only in every city. Get your tickets at thickboy.com.
I'll see you at Helium, Portland, Oregon, April 20th to the 22nd. Comedy Zone, Port Charlotte, Florida, Thursday, May 4th to the 6th. Stress Factory, back in Jersey, baby, May 11th to the 13th. I'll see you then. Get your ticket at BrianCallen.com.
Corey, we love you, man.
Cory Sandhagen.
Keep doing the Lord's work.
Thank you guys.
Keep
Well done, sir.
beating people up. Yeah, thanks for doing it, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Cool.